Welcome to the Invest Well Show. I'm your host, Michael Wall. Today is part 3 of the Protecting Your Wealth Against Market Crash series. Been a wonderful series. If you have not tuned into part 1 or part 2, you really need to go back and make sure that you can do that, because this is flowing well and it's going to help you kind of know what you need to do to make good decisions to prepare your wealth. First, part 1 was really talking about the idea of knowing your risk, understanding your risk. How do you actually determine that? That's step 1. Step 2 then is realigning your investments. And part 3 today on this show is just do it. Just as Nike talked about years ago, great conversation about how to take action to get your monies where it needs to be to protect yourself. Today on the Invest Well Show. All right, so just do it. We've heard this for years, and it's been a great slogan that Nike's used, talking about athletes getting up and just kind of going to work and putting in the work. It's funny, my boys and I, we were at Dick's Sporting Goods the other day and buying some baseball equipment, because tis the season. Baseball season is coming ahead or around, so to speak, here in Florida, South Florida, and buying a new mitt and a bat and some other things just to kind of get ready for this season. And there we see the big slogan from The Rock, right? Dwayne Johnson, and on his shirt it says, "Put in the work." And my son's like, "Dad," he's like, "Do you like that shirt?" I was like, "Yeah, it's a pretty cool shirt." He's like, "It looks like he's flexing." I was like, "Well, he is flexing." Okay, he's put in the work. And I think sometimes in life we feel like it's going to be easier than it should be or easier than it is, and it's not. Anything worthwhile takes effort. We must be willing to put in the work. And so when you talk about your own portfolio and we talk about your wealth in particular, one of the things that I've learned over the years, over the last 20 plus years, with several other companies, Wall Private Wealth, U.S. Private Wealth just so happens to be, the sponsors of this show. We have teams helping families protect, grow, and reduce taxes on their wealth. And one of the things, as we're in that seat, we proactively look at planning. And we put in the work to say, let's bring new ideas into the table. What should be done? And so I want to challenge you as you look at your investments. If you've listened to part 1, knowing your risk of this series, and part 2, realigning your investments so that way they're correctly set up, and then now just do it. Well, what that means is you may realign a little bit and say, okay, this is what I need to do and that's what I need to do. But how many times in life have you known what you needed to do and then not done it? You're like, "Oh, Mike, I always do everything I'm supposed to do whenever I'm supposed to do it." Really? When was the last time you were in a place where you said, okay, I'm going to start working out this month or this week or next week, and then you found yourself a couple weeks later, you're like, yeah, I'm going to get to that. I'll get around to it. I remember when I was younger, Zig Ziglar, I was a big Zig Ziglar fan. I sold bookstore to door in the summertime, and he used to always carry around this thing that was called a round to it. In fact, I bought a bunch of them, which we give out for the Michael Wall Show, which is another show that I do, motivational show. And basically it's round, right? And it has the big word T-U-I-T, to it, on it. So that way you put it in your pocket, you walk around in life, and what happens is when you're in a place where you say, okay, I need to do something, and if the thought comes to your mind that says, okay, well, I will do it when I get around to it, all you got to do is reach in your pocket, and guess what you got? A round to it. So now you don't even have to worry about it anymore. You can say, okay, I'm just going to go do this right now. In particular, when it comes to your investments, this is so crucial. Being proactive is necessary, and that's why this show is really entitled Just Do It. Because now you're in a place where because you've listened to part 1, you know your risk. You've listened to part 2 about realigning your investments. Now is the time to actually take action and just do it. Maybe you're in a place where you're saying, I don't know exactly what to do. Well, there's going to be some resources we're going to share with you at the end of the show to help you kind of get there, right? You want to educate yourself. You want to find the right coaches if you're not doing it on your own, and you want to take action and steps to do it. One of the biggest reasons that you will not fare well or fare as well as you should, let me say, with your investments, is because you are not being proactive in the process. And this is crucial to understanding, really where you are in life, which we talked about before, the stages of life. These are all things we've discussed before, but you must be in a place where you take action. Why do you think for Nike, the slogan, just do it, became so popular? Because it's simple. It doesn't take a lot of thought. It doesn't take a lot of let me research this and see what just do it really actually means. Were they trying to insinuate something else? No. They were saying, get off your butt and go do it. Quit just sitting there and saying, man, I hope this works out, or I hope things come together. I hope just everything. Don't do that. They were saying, just go do it, right? Put in the work. We talked about Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. Put in the work. Maybe you're in a place where right now you are not managing your money. Many of you probably listening to this are not. Some of you may be. But let's say you're not managing your money, right? And you're in a place where you're saying, I'm just not sure what I need to be doing in life. I got to change my phone here real quick because my timer's on. I want to make sure we're just doing it correctly for y'all, right? So you're in a place where someone is managing your money. By the way, if you're like, what was he talking about there? Well, I'm in the studio and I got my phone here. And if you're not watching and you're listening, you're like, that was a distraction. But now we're jumping back in. Somebody's managing your money. You're uncomfortable with what's happening. You're concerned. You're scared. You don't really feel like your planning is correctly aligned for you, and then you do nothing. Well, that doesn't fall in the category of just doing it. So what does it look like there? Well, just doing it for someone that has someone helping you with your money, you're in a place literally where you're saying, okay, I'm going to have to start searching the marketplace. I'm going to start reading. I'm going to have to start looking at different solutions, different ideas, different firms, different advisors. They're going to bring together maybe a different set of investment philosophy and ideas that align more with what I actually need and want. You know, when 2008 occurred and people lost a bunch of money, I can guarantee you those that took 3, 4, 5, 6 years to recover from the losses that they had wished they would have been proactive in advance and said, let me look and get different strategies. So if you're currently having someone help you and you're not comfortable or you're worried about the risk you're taking, all the things we discussed in previous shows, I'm going to challenge you to just do it and go find some additional resources, additional advisors, additional advice, different advice. Again, we're going to provide that later in the show. Second thing is for those of you that are actually managing your money yourself. Maybe you're managing your money yourself because you're fearful of the industry. You're not sure who to trust. You're not sure what to do. You're not sure where to go. Maybe you've been had your money mismanaged before or been lied to. I don't know. But what I want to tell you is just do it from the capacity of getting over that fear and continue to search for advice that's going to help you. Maybe you shouldn't be managing your money because you really don't know what you're doing. You think you do, but you don't. Everybody can make money when the market's up. That's easy. But when the markets are challenging or down, that can be tough. And the only way to really fare well is to make sure that you have been proactive in the process. So my leave for you on the show today is just do it. Go get the resources you need. Take the time to shop. Take the time to search. You've worked hard for what you have. You've worked hard for your wealth. Make sure you take time to do what's necessary to get the right advice. Don't wait until the plane has crashed to say, we probably should have rechecked our electronics and our systems. Do it in advance. Very important. So simple slogan, just like Nike said, just do it with your money. Do what's necessary. Listen, we're going to have some resources here on this page. If you're at investwellshow.com, if you're listening via podcast, I'm going to challenge you to go to investwellshow.com. There's going to be some white papers. You also see the sponsors of our show, which are some great firms that have been helping families for years protect, grow, and reduce taxes on their wealth. You'll be able to click on and go to their websites and find more information there from the show, from that page there sponsoring this show. Just there's a lot of information there to kind of help you. A copy of my book, best-selling book, simple, 110 pages to educate yourself so you can make good financial decisions. I believe that quality education is the beginning of great results, but you have to put action in there in order for that to happen. Hey, as always, there's probably people that you know that you're listening to this, that you have connected to. You say, you know what, they need to hear this show. Share it with them. Take a minute and share it on your phone or share it however you're listening to this or watching this. And my desire is for you to live on purpose so you can live with purpose. So let's just do it in life and do what we need to do so we can make the decisions we need to make to create the kind of impact we want to create and leave the world a better place than we you found it. Be blessed. We'll talk to you next show. Keep in mind, the information shared on this show is not to be considered investment advisory advice. For specific recommendations based on your situation, make sure you reach out to a professional, whether it be financial, accounting, tax, attorney, or whatever you may need to help you find the information necessary to make good decisions.